Welcome to Next Level Jewelry. I'm Joe Torak, and today we will talk about jewelry point of sale systems. A few months ago I attended the JCK Vegas show where representatives of the jewelry industry gathered in a great number along with many jewelry retailers. Now, me being curious about how these retailers work at the trade show, I took a closer look at how they complete their sales and how they follow their inventory. So I walked up and talked to quite a few of them and asked them a few questions about this. What was very surprising to me was to see that most of them still do these tasks manually. Nowadays, when there is some sort of technology solution for everything, it seems very odd that a jewelry retailer still handwrites orders and invoices. This video is mainly to address this issue and for those retailers who want to know more about the technical possibilities within their reach to do sales-related actions much better and much more efficiently. But first, let's take a quick detour and review a short history of point-of-sale systems. The retail market is huge. It's worth about $300 billion globally. Consequently, there is also reasonably developed market for point of sale or POS systems. To look at the beginnings of point of sale systems, we can go back to the beginning of the 1900s, when cash registers were first introduced, mainly to stop employees from malpractice that could financially harm their employers. Now, in the 1970s, cash registers became computerized, and this started a process of development that made today's systems indispensable. Soon enough, everybody was using barcode scanners, printers, and since then we also started storing sales data so that the systems became suitable for keeping track of stocks, customers, processing credit card payments, and so on. But the evolution of the point-of-sale systems didn't stop there. Instead, this development got faster, just like many other technology solutions in the past 20 years. The next big step was the introduction of mobile point-of-sale systems. This means that the machine we used in our store, and they most probably required an entire corner behind the counter, now can fit in our pockets. So, well, as far as jewelers are concerned, they may fit in their pockets, but from what I saw at the JCK show, this technological innovation hasn't reached the jewelry industry just yet. On the contrary, my recent experience at the show showed me that very few retailers choose to live with this opportunity and mobility. They may have a well-working POS system set up in their stores, but it's quite a disadvantage that they cannot bring that system with them to the trade show. So, jewelry point-of-sale systems, why are they such a hard nut to crack? Why are they so complicated? Or rather, are there even any jewelry-specific point-of-sale systems around? Interestingly enough, contrary to jewelry manufacturing systems and enterprise resource planning systems that are represented in relatively small numbers, we can find several dozens of jewelry point-of-sale systems on the market. First of all, this is due to a larger market, as the jewelry retail segment is over 10 times bigger than the manufacturing segment. On the other hand, point-of-sale systems are less complex systems than ERPs. Therefore, creating and launching or even tailoring general point-of-sale systems to a jewelry store requires less resources, and it is a lot faster than implementing an ERP for a manufacturing setup. Then the fact that when I'm doing a Google search for a point-of-sale system specific to jewelry, you can find several results even on the 5th or 6th pages. This also shows how saturated the point-of-sale market is. So there are solutions out there, which leads me to the next question. Are there good solutions out there in this crowd of wannabe jewelry POSs? Although it's hard to have a complete overview of the whole retail point-of-sale software market, after doing some research, I would categorize the existing point-of-sale systems the following ways. 1. Brick and mortar jewelry point-of-sale systems. Now, these are systems that were being developed essentially decades ago, typically with unmovable hardware components, a screen, a cash drawer, and with very little in terms of integration with other software. For example, the Edge software is leading this list. It's an old system, but it's still trusted and widely used. Number 2, industry-specific cloud-based point-of-sale systems. Now, these are point-of-sale systems that are much more suitable for today's requirements, and they are much more flexible than their fellow brick-and-mortar systems. As they are built on newer technologies, they are easier to integrate with other external systems, provided that they come equipped with an API, a programming interface. Some examples would include Swim and Chain Drive, from this group. Number 3, vertical jewelry point-of-sale systems. Here we can mention those POS systems that basically are not jewelry specific, but their creators are trying to adapt them to other industries, therefore to the jewelry industry as well. And these would be platforms like Shopify, Lightspeed, or Vend. They usually have an advanced API, which makes it easy to integrate with other systems, and they also follow modern trends when it comes to the user interface and user experience. What the problem, however, with most of these is that often it is not possible to set up jewelry-specific styles and inventory, especially when it comes to custom jewelry. Now, I pointed out the possibility to integrate on purpose because besides the fact that a modern POS needs to be mobile, this is one of the most important factors, as the point-of-sale system needs to be able to talk to other systems in order to make your life easier. Just like your iPhone is essentially an integrated platform of media device, a phone, location tracker, and a handheld computer, a standalone point-of-sale system is like an old wired phone, neither mobile nor capable of anything but one task. So what kind of integrations are we talking about here? 1. Integration with your ERP, enterprise resource planning, or production management platforms. Now, this is essential to automatically transfer and handle the order information so that the entire production and customer management aspect of the orders can be easily managed. Number 2, e-commerce integrations. And I'm thinking of platforms like WooCommerce, Shopify, Etsy, and others here. This is needed to facilitate the quick and organized online sales as well as inventory tracking. This is important nowadays as you can only maximize your sales if you also have an online presence. And as I keep saying to everyone, no online presence means lost sales and opportunities, so you should really do it. Number 3, direct integration with external accounting systems like Quickbooks so that you can eliminate the manual work as transferring financial data from one system to another. This is often a major source of errors, headache, and a lot of extra work that adds no value whatsoever to your business. On the contrary, it's a huge money waster. Number 4, integration with email marketing platforms such as MailChimp to support your sales efforts. Again, online marketing can generate extra sales, so you should be paying attention to that. Now, the first one, the integration with ERPs or manufacturing systems, is especially important in case your business doesn't only sell finished jewelry, but also accepts repair jobs and custom orders. So the question you should ask of your point-of-sale vendor is, what happens, for example, when we have a style, the components of which we would like to swap? Can your POS give a quick price quote if we are about to use, let's say, 14K yellow instead of 18K white gold? Can it tell you where the piece is in the manufacturing process and when it will be done and delivered to the customer? Most retail point-of-sale systems are not built to manage custom orders. All they do is the tracking of inventory of finished goods, but they are not able to track raw materials, order statuses, follow up with vendors, notify customers, and all such complexities which are part of custom manufacturing these days. So if you deal with custom jewelry, which is becoming a larger and larger segment of the retail space anyway, you should make sure that your point-of-sale system is or can be integrated with your manufacturing management or ERP system. Now, needless to say, this integration can lead to a lot of headache and extra expenses. You have to find a new software vendor, which is by itself a very hard thing to do, as good software vendors are very hard to come by. Then the backend processes need to be configured and programmed, and when all this is done, there's also the question of how the system will communicate with your retail point-of-sale software. So, for example, how will the finished products be entered into the POS system once manufacturing is done? Many companies employ people for this specific job, to copy data over from manufacturing to sales. All these employees do is transferring data from one system to another and keeping them up to date on a daily basis. So how efficient is this? How much does employing someone for this purpose cost your company annually? So with one word, a lot. That's all wasted money right out of your pocket. Now to the interesting part. How have we at Pyro handled this problem? So my team and I have been working on a jewelry enterprise resource management or ERP system called Pyro for a long time. You may have heard of it. It has taken the work of dozens of talented software developers and close to 10 years of work. As a result, we have built a robust jewelry manufacturing system that can easily be set up, shaped and customized according to our customers' requirements. In the past few years, an interesting trend has appeared. On one hand, many of our clients started to sell online, and as such they asked us to integrate Pyro with their websites. And we will discuss this in more detail in another video. While on the other hand, a lot of manufacturing companies started to sell directly to the end consumer by opening stores, their own brick and mortar stores, thereby needing an efficient sales tool. So for them, we developed and recently launched a point of sale system that is integrated directly with their Pyro ERP and manufacturing system. Now, this can be surprising at first because POS is considered by most people primarily a retailer and sales tool. Then why would manufacturers need a point of sale system? It's because in the past few years the lines have become blurry. Manufacturers realize that they can work with much bigger margins if they become sellers themselves rather than just selling for wholesalers and retailers. E-commerce is a great tool in this, but opening their own showrooms and creating their own brands is also an option and much more cost-effective than before, especially if the retail side is an organic extension of their manufacturing. And this is exactly what our point of sale system allows them to do. But the same can be also approached from the retailer's point of view. A lot of small retailers started realizing that they can have an advantage against jewelry retail giants. The fact that they can offer customizable jewelry, accept custom requests, and deal with their customers in a closer and more personalized manner means that with the right system, they can start manufacturing in-house with great efficiency, flexibility and speed, thereby expanding their retail side to organically bring in manufacturing in-house. So whatever the approach may be, all these companies require a scalable solution that is not restricted to do only certain operations, like only point of sale or only manufacturing or production management. So that brings me to my next question. What are the most important aspects of such a scalable solution that merges retail with manufacturing? Number one, mobility. These days, there is increasing emphasis on doing everything on mobile devices. Now, it is just as important for a business that a POS system can be used easily and quickly, no matter where you are. Selling jewelry doesn't have to be tied to a specific location anymore. You can go to trade shows, to your customers' shops, even to their homes, and close a sale there. Our solution to this is an Android app that only needs an inexpensive tablet to be used. In addition to our point-of-sale hardware kit is based on next-generation devices. They are all small, wireless, and easily set up so that sales reps can take them where the sales happen. Now, this is the next level of point-of-sale systems. It's small, portable, mobile, and inexpensive to use and maintain. Number two, connected to your ERP or manufacturing system. It is not science fiction anymore that when we enter a custom order in the POS system, the information gets transferred into the ERP system in real time without any human interaction. The second we finish entering an order, manufacturing can start making it already. Ideally, your point of sale is already integrated with your ERP system, because otherwise the integration of these two can take time and become quite expensive. Our solution for this is Our Android point of sale application uses an API to connect to our Pyro ERP so that you can enter new orders from anywhere and the production of these orders can start right away. As the POS front end is not crowded with back-end or administration features and modules, the user can focus more on sales, which in turn made the user interface very clean and simple. And this brings me to the next point, actually, number 3. A simple, easy-to-use interface. There are many point-of-sale systems out there that, at the first look, they're overwhelming, as there is a vast amount of settings and options on them. You look at it and you really have no idea what to press, what to enter, how to create an order. Mostly this happens because the front end and the back end are not clearly separated. So the question is, do you really need text-related settings on the front end? Probably not. Our solution to this is that we only show the important data on the front end, and the different activities are clearly separated. Entering sales orders, catalog orders, entering repair orders, choosing variants or options for components. These can all be done quickly and efficiently. Our POS is easy to use, so all the settings and heavy lifting like price calculations and stock handling are done in our ERP systems and all automatically. Number 4, tracking manufacturing processes. Typically when you get a custom order, you need to explain to people actually manufacturing the piece, whether it's done in-house or outside by one of your vendors, what the customer's preference is and the details of the order are. And most of the time this is done on paper, and these requirements are manually entered into the manufacturer's tracking system. The problem with this is that this happens manually and potentially errors are introduced or information is lost in the translation. On the other hand, once the order is turned over to the manufacturing side, the retail side will have minimal insight into what happens during the production without calling, asking around, or checking personally. And if the customer calls for information, there is no way to give an immediate answer. Our solution to this, because in every case the information is automatically entered in the ERP system along with every node, component and description, the jurors can start working on them right away without needing any other explanation. All details that are important are automatically tracked during manufacturing: inventory movements, steps of the manufacturing, the jurors working on the piece, their notes, and so on. These can all be easily viewed in real time, and at the same time the point of sale system can also send automatic notifications to the customers when the piece is ready for pickup. Number 5, centralized tracking. As I have mentioned before, point of sale systems usually focus on finished goods. We have style, and in the best case the point of sale shows the components like metals and stones and the total number of pieces in inventory. But when it comes to actually tracking the components needed to make a new piece, or finding the precious stones and diamonds needed or ordered by the customer, a simple point of sale system is not enough. Our solution to this: the finished goods, including all the raw materials and components needed for manufacturing, are being tracked in a single centralized inventory system, so that the styles that will appear in the point of sale system can be customized and configured right there in the front of the customer. The number and location of items on hand will also automatically be updated whenever something is sold or transferred to a different store, all seamlessly and in real time. So number 6, e-commerce integration. As retailers start realizing the importance of e-commerce, and according to studies, about 21% of retailers have already started e-commerce sales, this secondary sales channel is gaining more and more importance. From this point of view, it becomes a problem for a retailer or manufacturer to handle online orders alongside their in-store orders, as they need to keep the inventories in sync. So if they sell something online, they have to remove it from the store inventory and vice versa. Traditional point of sale systems weren't made to do this, and often it's impossible to connect these two systems and handle orders in one place. This usually results in creating parallel inventories, which in turn create a lot of overhead, as you have to manage two separate inventories now. One for the online sales and one for the regular sales. So it's obviously not an ideal thing. And our solution for this problem, if the same system is used to handle both traditional and online sales automatically, then our job is already much easier. We can easily identify these orders and track them till they are fulfilled, and always make sure that if a piece of jewelry is sold online, it cannot be sold in the store, and vice versa. So, for those who skipped right to the end, in today's video I discussed briefly the history of point-of-sale systems in general, and I presented some possible categorizations of the available point-of-sale systems. Then I started in the second part of the video. I tried to emphasize a few important factors for those who are trying to decide what point-of-sale system to use. Mobility, possibility to integrate a centralized inventory and sales orders, and also the need to be able to track manufacturing goods and custom jewelry orders automatically. We solved all these problems in a unique way with our Pyro retail point-of-sale software, using a solution that's different from existing point-of-sale systems. We focused on making sales and manufacturing integrated and accessible side by side and seamless, so that you can increase transparency and efficiency while eliminating inefficiencies and errors. Now, in this video we had no time to touch the topic of licensing of point-of-sale systems, but the most common licensing model is based on subscription fees per user. There's a wide range how jewelry point-of-sale vendors offer their product licenses, and this includes volume-based pricing, user-based pricing, number of registers, or store-based pricing. And on the top of these license fees, buyers should also calculate hardware pieces into the equation as an extra one-time cost when buying point-of-sale systems. There may also be yearly or monthly support fees that you need to take into consideration, and some of those fees can be quite substantial. So you have to watch for those. And I'll talk about these more in one of the future videos. But for now, thanks for watching Next Level Jewelry, and feel free to share your experience with any jewelry point-of-sale system in the comment section below.